Goku taught me everything about never giving up. But it took me years to realize he's playing a different game than you and me. And when you copy his moves in the wrong game, that's where things get dangerous. Let me show you what I mean. Dragon Ball gave us some of the most powerful lessons about discipline, growth, and pushing past limits. Millions of men, including me, built their character on these principles. But here's what nobody talks about. Goku's world has Dragon Balls. Yours doesn't. He faces Frieza. You face Monday morning. The rules are different. And when you apply fantasy world philosophy to real-world problems without translation, that's where good men get stuck, exhausted, and confused about why they're not winning. I'm going to break down 3 philosophies the DBZ teaches brilliantly, but become dangerous when copied literally. And more importantly, I'll show you how to translate them correctly so they actually work in your life. Let's start with the one that sounds most inspiring. Super Saiyan. Super Saiyan 2. God. Blue. Ultra Instinct. Goku never stops climbing. There's always another level, another transformation, another limit to break. And honestly, that's one of the most beautiful things Dragon Ball teaches us. Never settle for your current level. When Goku unlocked Super Saiyan against Frieza, he didn't hang up his gi and retire. He kept pushing. That mindset has built champions. It's taught an entire generation of men that comfort is the enemy of greatness. It's why you're in the gym when it's easier to stay home. It's why you push through the hard project when everyone else quits. Goku's relentless drive to transcend his limits, that's not the problem. That's the foundation. But here's where the game changes, and why this philosophy becomes dangerous when you copy it literally. Goku lives in a universe that provides the next level. Frieza shows up. He needs Super Saiyan. Cell appears. He needs the hyperbolic time chamber. Buu arrives. He needs fusion. The enemy defines the goal. The threat creates clarity. He always knows what he's fighting for. Your life doesn't work that way. You hit the promotion. You make the money. You build the physique, and then nothing. No Frieza at your door, no clear next form waiting. Just you staring at the mirror at 2 a.m. thinking, now what? So what do? You create another goal, another grind, another mountain. Because without the climb, you don't know who you are anymore. You're on what psychologists call the hedonic treadmill, where every achievement gives you a hit of dopamine, then you return to baseline. So you chase the next hit, and the next, forever. Running, never arriving. The philosopher Schopenhauer called this the curse of the human will, an endless drive that can never truly be satisfied. Goku embodies this perfectly. Pure will, infinite ambition. It's inspiring in a 20-minute episode. It's exhausting in a 20-year life. Here's where the dangerous part. It's not the ambition. It's ambition without an anchor. You're climbing a ladder that never ends, and somewhere along the way, you forgot to ask, what's at the top? And why do I even want to get there? So how do you take Goku's relentless drive and make it work in the real world? Viktor Frankl, the psychiatrist who survived Nazi concentration camps, wrote something that changes everything. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. Goku has a why. Protect Earth, protect his family, get strong enough so no one he loves dies again. That's his anchor. Every transformation serves that purpose. Your grind needs the same anchor. Not just get stronger or make more money, but for what? For whom? Here's what I want you to do. Before your next goal, write it down. Then underneath, complete this sentence. I'm pursuing this because it allows me to blank. If your answer is prove I'm better than someone or just feel accomplished, you're on the hedonic treadmill. The goal is hollow. You'll hit it and feel empty within a week. But if your answer is provide for my family, build something that outlives me, or become the man my younger self needed, now you're translating Goku correctly. Now you're climbing with purpose, not just momentum. Goku climbs because he has to. You get to choose your why. That's not a weakness. That's your advantage. But even if you climb with purpose, there's a second philosophy that can sabotage everything. And this one, most men don't see it coming until it's too late. Let me show you what I mean. Goku's greatest transformations happen alone. The hyperbolic chamber, 100 times gravity on King Kai's planet, training in space, just him, the weight, and the will. That image is iconic. It's burned into our minds as the ultimate symbol of discipline. And here's the thing, it's also incomplete. Dragon Ball teaches something profound that most people never learn. No one can do your push-ups for you. When Goku steps into the time chamber, no one can train for him. When he faces Frieza on Namek, no one else can fight that battle. Personal responsibility, radical ownership. You are the variable. And that's not just anime philosophy, that's truth. Most men never internalize this. They blame the economy, their genetics, their upbringing, their boss. DBZ taught us to stop pointing fingers and look in the mirror. Your growth is your responsibility. No one's coming to save you. But here's where the translation breaks down, and where good men get stuck. Goku trains alone, yes, but he fights for connection. Every battle is to protect Krillin, Gohan, Chi-Chi, Earth itself. His isolation isn't permanent. It's a temporary sacrifice for communal protection. He withdraws to get stronger so he can show up for the people who matter. When you copy the isolation without the context, you don't become Goku. You become lonely. You grind alone because that's what strong men do. You don't ask for help because real men figure it out. You push people away because they slow me down or they don't understand the vision. You climb the mountain, and when you finally reach the top, you realize there's no one there to share it with. So here's what Harvard's 80-year study on adult development found. The quality of your relationships is the single greatest predictor of happiness, health, and longevity. Not your achievements, not your bank account, not how many times you transformed. Connection. The philosopher Aristotle said it 2,300 years ago. Man is by nature a social animal. We're wired for tribe, for belonging. Isolation isn't strength, it's deprivation masquerading as discipline. So what's the dangerous translation here? It's this: Goku trains alone, so I should do everything alone. No. Goku trains alone so he can protect the people he trains for. If your grind has no for whom, you're not building strength, you're building a prison. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote, "What we do now echoes in eternity." But eternity isn't about you standing alone on a mountain. It's about the ripple you leave in the lives of others.
Even Goku, the ultimate warrior, has his breaking point against Jiren. And what does he do? He asks for help. He fuses with Vegeta. He draws power from his friend's trust. That's not weakness, that's evolution. Here's what I want you to do. Take your biggest current goal. Now answer this. Who am I building this with? Who am I building this for? If your answer is no one, your goal is fragile. One major setback and it collapses. Because there's no support system, no deeper meaning, no one to pull you back up. But if you're building with your brothers, your partner, your family, your team, that goal has roots. It can weather storms. It's anti-fragile. Take Goku's discipline. Take his personal responsibility. Take his work ethic. But apply it in service of your tribe, not in isolation from it. The strongest version of you isn't the lone wolf. It's the wolf who leads and protects the pack. But here's the thing. Even if you have purpose, even if you have people, there's one more philosophy that quietly sabotages even the best intentions. And you won't see it coming because it hides behind optimism. Stay with me. Krillin dies. Wish him back. Goku dies. Wait 6 months, he's back. Piccolo, Vegeta, Tien, everyone gets a redo. In Dragon Ball, death is reversible. Mistakes can be erased. Consequences can be undone. And somewhere deep in your subconscious, you started believing your life works the same way. Here's what's beautiful about this, and why millions of men needed this message. Dragon Ball teaches resilience through redemption. Vegeta was a genocidal prince who murdered entire populations. He gets a redemption arc and becomes a hero. Piccolo tried to conquer Earth. Now he's Gohan's father figure. Tien worked for an assassin. Android 18 nearly destroyed the planet. All redeemed, all forgiven, all transformed. The message? Your past doesn't define you. You can change. You can grow. You're not your mistakes. And that philosophy, it saved lives. I'm not exaggerating. Men who grew up broken, ashamed, lost, they look at Vegeta and think, if he can change, so can I. That's powerful. That's sacred. That's the gift Dragon Ball gave the world. But here's the shadow side that sneaks in when you translate this literally. Because consequences are reversible in DBZ, actions lose weight. Goku can give Cell a Senzu Bean mid-fight because it's more fun this way. The risk? He's got Dragon Balls as insurance. He can undo it. You don't. In your life, the relationship you ghost doesn't respond. The career opportunity you ignored doesn't come back. The years you waste going the wrong direction, there are no Dragon Balls, no 7 wishes, no Shenron waiting. And yet, unconsciously, you live like there's always a redo. I'll start Monday. I'll apologize later. I'll fix it next time. I'll get serious eventually. You're living in rehearsal mode, waiting for the real version of your life to start. Behavioral psychologists call this temporal discounting. We overvalue immediate comfort and underestimate long-term consequences. We tell ourselves, future me will handle it. Spoiler, future you is just today you with less time and more regret. The philosopher Kierkegaard nailed it. Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. You can't undo what's already been done. You can only move forward carrying the weight of what you've chosen. And if this is hitting different, if you're realizing something right now, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe, because what I'm about to share next is how you fix this without losing DBZ's gift of redemption. Here's the dangerous translation. I can always fix it later. There's always another chance. Sometimes there isn't. The door closes. The person moves on. The body breaks down. Reality has a scoreboard, and it doesn't reset. So how do you keep Dragon Ball's message of redemption without the delusion of consequence-free living? The ancient Stoics practiced something called memento mori, meaning remember you will die. Not to be depressing, but to inject urgency and intention into every moment. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Goku can afford to be reckless because death is temporary in his world. You can't. And that's not a limitation. It's what makes your choices matter. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, put it this way: every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. There are no neutral days. Skipping the gym is a vote. Ignoring that text is a vote. Scrolling instead of building is a vote. The scoreboard is counting right now. Here's what I want you to do. Look at your last 7 days. Not what you planned, Not what you intended. What did you actually do? Because that's who you're becoming. Not someday you, today you. Take Dragon Ball's gift. You can change. You're not your past. Redemption is real. But add reality's law. Every day counts. Every choice compounds. You don't get time back. Stop living like there's a reset button. Treat today like it's writing your legacy, because it is. Now there's one more philosophy, and it might be the most dangerous because it feels like strength, it looks like discipline, but it's quietly stealing your peace. Let me show you. Goku beats Frieza, saves the universe, finally peace. And what does he do? Gets bored. He literally asks Zeno to organize a multiverse tournament where losing universes get erased. Why? Because he needs the fight. And here's what makes this so compelling. Dragon Ball teaches us that growth requires resistance. You don't get stronger lifting empty bars. You need weight, you need friction, you need something pushing back. Goku understands this at a cellular level. Every Saiyan does. The Zenkai boost, getting stronger after every near-death experience. Pain becomes power. Struggle becomes strength. That's the warrior's path, and it's forged millions of men into something harder, sharper, better. That philosophy built you. It's why you don't run from hard conversations, why you pick the difficult path, why you choose the weight that challenges you instead of the one that's comfortable. Conflict as catalyst, that's real, that's alchemy. But here's where it turns dangerous. Goku doesn't just use conflict as a tool for growth. He needs it to feel alive. Peace isn't rest for him. It's emptiness. Without an enemy, without a battle, without the next threat, he doesn't know who he is. Sound familiar? You achieve the goal, and instead of savoring it, you feel nothing. So you create another war, another battle. You pick fights with your partner because too calm feels wrong. You manufacture drama at work. You sabotage good situations because without the struggle, you don't recognize yourself. Cognitive behavioral psychologists call this oppositional identity, when you only know who you are in relation to what you're fighting against. The enemy defines you. The conflict gives you purpose. Remove the war, and you collapse.
Carl Jung warned about this. He said, "What you resist persists." When your identity is built on opposition, you unconsciously create the very conflicts you claim to want to escape. Because without them, you're no one. The ancient Taoists saw this trap 2,500 years ago. Lao Tzu wrote, "The sage avoids extremes, excesses, and complacency." He taught wu-wei, effortless action, flow, not force, growth without grinding yourself into dust. But here's what no one tells you. Goku isn't just fighting enemies. He's running from himself. The psychiatrist Gabor Mate spent decades studying addiction. His conclusion? Addiction isn't about the substance. It's about escaping pain you don't know how to face. Goku is addicted to conflict because sitting still means confronting the parts of himself he's been outrunning since he was a kid. The absentee father, the Saiyan heritage he can't reconcile, the guilt over everyone who died while he was too weak. Battle is his drug. It numbs the questions he's afraid to answer. And if you've adopted his philosophy without translation, you're doing the same thing. You're not growing, you're running. Every new goal, every new grind, every manufactured crisis is just another hit to avoid sitting with yourself and asking, who am I when I'm not at war? Here's the shift that changes everything. The poet Rumi wrote, "Yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, so I am changing myself." True strength isn't defeating the next enemy. It's integrating your shadow. It's making peace with the parts of you that you've been fighting. Jung called this individuation, becoming whole by accepting all of yourself, not just the warrior part, the scared part, the soft part, the part that doesn't have all the answers. Goku's evolution? It's not ultra instinct. It's the moment he chooses to stay dead after Cell because he realizes his presence attracts danger. That's wisdom. That's growth beyond battle. So here's what I want you to sit with. What are you fighting right now that you don't actually need to fight? What conflict are you maintaining because without it, you'd have to face the silence? What war are you waging externally because you're terrified of the one inside? Stop asking, what's my next enemy? Start asking, what's my next evolution? Growth isn't war, it's metamorphosis. The caterpillar doesn't fight its way into a butterfly, it surrenders to the transformation. Take Goku's warrior spirit, take his discipline, take his courage, but leave the addiction to conflict behind. Fight for peace, fight for purpose, fight for the people you love, but stop fighting from restlessness. Stop fighting from fear of stillness. The real Super Saiyan transformation? It's not another form. It's becoming comfortable in your own skin when the battle is over. You're not Goku. You don't live in a world that rewards endless conflict. You live in a world that rewards men who can be strong and peaceful, disciplined and present, driven and content. Dragon Ball gave you the foundation: discipline, resilience, the refusal to quit. Now it's your job to translate those gifts into a life that doesn't require constant war to feel meaningful. Because here's the truth they don't tell you in the anime. The strongest warriors aren't the ones who never stop fighting. They're the ones who know when to put the sword down. Your life isn't a 300-episode arc. It's not designed for perpetual conflict. It's designed for meaning, for connection, for legacy. So take what Goku taught you, honor it, but evolve beyond it. Build power with purpose. Grow with your tribe. Live like choices matter, and fight for peace, not from the fear of it. Now go prove it.